I'm sure you're following the news like everybody else is, and we see these amazing, unprecedented miracles that developing in front of our eyes. How this tiny little country, Eretz Israel, is destroying systematically all its enemies from around them. And the last night, where everybody was so frightened of this huge power called Iran, turned out to be a tiger without teeth. And their entire structure is destroyed, and their leaders are being killed, and it's going on and on and on, Baruch Hashem. And Eretz Israel is safe, exactly what the Rebbe has said so many times. The Makam HaBatuach, the most secure place all over the world, is in Eretz Israel, because that's a place where God is focusing on protecting Reshis Hashanah, Vadachis Hashanah, from the beginning of the year to the end of the year. So first of all, let us say, maybe we should say it many times, but we'll say at least one time, the capital, chapter 100, which is the chapter of thanking to Hashem. And then I want to share with you an amazing story from the 6-day war, from the Yom Kippur War, Mizmor l'Seder Rila Adonai Kol Haratzim V'Sadenu B'Simcha. Boi lefanav v'nana du'uka Adonai v'limu asanu v'lo yanachna amu v'tzay marise boi sharu v'tzay lechatzrois v'sila. Boi dele bachu shumay kitoi v'Adonai le'lam chazdei v'yad dor v'dor amunasoi. And thank yous have to be real with an act. So let's give some tzedakah. And obviously we continue praying for the well-being, for the safety of all the soldiers that are involved, and the final release of the hostages, and the final release of all of us from Golus. That would be beautiful to have this Shabbos already in Beis Hamikdash. So here is an amazing story. Tel Aviv is known for their aggressive modernism, leftism, intellectuals. Now this is in the heart of the intellectual section of Tel Aviv, Ramat Aviv. And there's a big party going on. Party happens to be thrown by somebody who was not religious beforehand, and now he is religious, and invited all his friends from the past, still friends, but he has changed his lifestyle. Now, Israeli parties, there's always two items that must be there: tiras and avatiach, watermelon. Doesn't go without it. Suddenly there's a big discussion going on. What blessing do you make on avatiach, on melon? Is it ha'etz? Is it hadama? And nobody knows. Suddenly there's a fellow gets up, Yossi, kibbutznik, totally distant from Judaism, apparently, and he gets up, he says, V'ani omer, and I say, you have to say, Shahakol niyeh bidvaro, which means that everything was created by God saying. Everybody's surprised, Yossi, why do you know that? How do you say this? He says, I'll tell you a story. I was in the tank, in the front line, the infamous Bar-Lev line, which was overrun in no time by the Egyptians in the Yom Kippur War. And we were a group, few tanks, and we knew that this is the end of us, surrounded by dozens and dozens of Egyptian tanks. Suddenly we hear on the communication system, our captain or whatever, commander, asking, anybody knows the prayer of the religious people? Nobody knew anything. Then suddenly I reminded myself, when I was a little boy, I used to go visit my Savta and Saba, my grandparents. Whenever they would give me some juice to drink, they would ask me to say, they would say with me the blessing, Baruch atah Hashem Elokeinu melech haolam, blessed are you God, Master of the universe, King of the universe, Shakol niyeh bidvaro, that everything was created by you, by his saying. So I said, that's the prayer. So the commander says, look guys, we have to do whatever we can. We will all together say that prayer, Shakol niyeh bidvaro, and then we're going to shoot. He says, for hours and hours, every moment, biyachad, they say, let's say together, Baruch atah Hashem Elokeinu melech haolam, Shakol niyeh bidvaro, and we shot. I'm here to tell the story. This was miraculous that we have survived, and with every bomb we're able to destroy another tank. We were surrounded. There was absolutely no chance for us to come out alive. In fact, when I silently pray to God, I pray to God, please, I know I'm dying, but let it be painlessly. That was my prayer. And here I am to tell the story. So he concludes, if Shahakol Niyeh Bidvaro is good for destroying tanks, then it's good for watermelon. And this is just a little story for us to recognize that the might, the power, which the impressive successes, they're continuing apparently. While we're talking of Eretz Yisrael is, let's remember, Shahakol Niyeh Bidvaro, that it's all depending on God's saying so and God's blessing. And for this, let's go and do an extra mitzvah today. And hopefully we will celebrate the Shabbos with Mashiach in the Beis HaMikdash.